Symbiote Marathon. There's this being known as Toxin, who's basically the offspring of the famous symbiote known as Carnage, and is the 1000th generation of its line. Something that you probably don't know is that this fact alone makes Toxin far, far stronger than any of his ancestors, with an unfortunate disposition towards madness. It even states here, by the 1000th generation, the chances for psychotic breakdown are great, unless the grandparent can educate the child in the ancient way of symbiote. You guys already know the deal about symbiotes, right? They are an alien race that combine physically and mentally with members of another species to amplify their host's physical power and give them a number of other useful abilities and etc. An example would be as the human that Toxin bonds to is very important to its sanity. Thankfully, the very first human that Toxin encountered was a sane, responsible police officer named Pat Mulligan. You're probably wondering who that is. I'm going to go over his feats in this video as well. Pat used Toxin to help fight crime, both natural and supernatural, but he was eventually killed by the demon Blackheart. He was stolen, used as a component for a ritual intended to bring hell to Earth. It was then recovered by Eddie Brock, you know, the former host for Venom. I've done videos on as well. There was a time where Eddie was actually trying to hunt down and get rid of Symbiote, but once the symbiote bonded with him, oh yeah, they had an altercation with new agent Venom. Yeah, imagine Eddie Brock working as an FBI agent. But you guys know the saying goes, old habits are not far behind. So when he fused with Toxin, he ended up working with Toxin just as closely as he did the original Venom. But before I go to Eddie Brock stuff, let me go over Patrick Mulligan's first. But before I even get to either of them, thank you all that have donated to the channel. Appreciate it a lot. As Patrick, the symbiote known as Toxin is powerful, but due to the fact that him and Toxin have internal disagreements, he's only able to access maybe a fraction of Toxin's power. Still, even that, transform, he still can dodge bullets, catch a falling baby, reflexes. He can easily dodge attacks from Carnage. He's physically above characters like Black Cat and Raw, strength, stopping kicks from her and everything, etc. He's able to combat Spider-Man fast enough to catch Spider-Man off guard. Spider-Man has crazy combat speed and spider sense, so that's pretty fast of him. He's literally this close to a train, but his reflex is able to react before he gets hit by the train. I mean, there was one time with Razor Fist, he just smashed him out of the window, transformed instantaneously. One could say power up. He can do shapeshifting, see the little claws in his arm. Oh, by the way, Razor Fist claw can't and will not harm him, by the way. Just durability gives you an idea of his level of power. And of course, automatic gunfire bounces off of him. Battle feats are everything when it comes to fighting other symbiotes. He was like literally able to overpower, some would say the strongest symbiote, or some would call it. No, there's a lot of powerful symbiotes, like, you know, anti-venom can go into debate or whatever. He kind of overpowered Carnage. Toxin's that strong. When it comes to bank stuff, like I literally showed you them bullets bouncing off of him. He goes through the floor. He literally smashed through the floor of a bank and then attacks enemies by smashing the floor in their direction. Isn't that impressive? Does this to King Cobra, smashes the wall behind him. Does the same thing to the floor of an apartment. The Agile can jump to the side of buildings, stick on walls, you know, the spider type stuff. He literally threw Carnage, like in a battlefield, across the city. It's like he made him into a stream. That's how hard he was able to sling him around. Let that sink in. When it comes to the Wrecking Crew, Toxin's so powerful they even take them out, taking out one of the members of the Wrecking Crew. I swear, I would do a video about the Wrecking Crew, man, but Marvel does not know what power ranges they want these guys at. I mean, in the past, he's taken on characters like Iron Man, the Wrecker, so that just gives you an idea of why doing this to beings like this is impressive. He can easily take down Razor Fist, might I add, by the way, like you're subdued. This dude Toxin fought Venom and Carnage at the same dang time. And this isn't even Eddie Brock yet. Yep, you are looking at this correctly. Just like other symbiotes, he has stretching ability and shapeshifting. That's just common stuff that I've shown in my other previous symbiote vids. He has like some sort of tracking ability that lets him track people by the proximity. But enough of that stuff. Let's jump right to the Eddie Brock feats as Toxin. Let's go. Toxin and Eddie are so bonded together that they nearly act as one. They kind of act different in the way Patrick did. Because let's face it, Eddie's more of a main type of character. Let's face it. Naturally, Eddie as Toxin is able to fight other symbiotic type characters like Agent Venom, blitzing him here with Tendril. You can transform on the spot to save folk from rubble that quick, throws them there. That one time he moved the woman out of the way of an explosion real quick. He can make different limbs of himself if he has to. The stretching, shape-shifting stuff. He took on a whole horde of lizard people. Cool battle feat, fighting multiple folk, getting stabbed here. Doesn't really matter. I mean, think about it. I already showed you how Venom type characters can heal the host and even regenerate. And their regeneration is underrated. He's gotten a fight with Agent Venom, kind of overpowered Agent Venom, even though they had like a little slug type of fez, lifting up cars, strength, slams it on top of him, explosion. Shockwaves rip cars in half with his strength. Gunfire doesn't really do too much, can regenerate on the spot. symbiote type characters, making blades from Toxin, stretching his arms, can multitask, grab different folks with his tendrils while he's doing something else, even though he's behind him here. You got to respect it, even got his arm cut off, impales him here. Toxin is no joke, appears to grow in size if he needs to be more intimidating. He was able to completely destroy Mega Tech like this. This might be one of his most impressive feats because in the past this guy has fought evenly with Thor. Oh my goodness, these writers did not know how strong these guys are. Like, you know what? Yeah, but yeah. Toxin's able to tear open the metal door, able to restrain man, wolf, gots to respect it. He lifted tons of falling rocks and lifts the people up to help him in the process. Durability-wise, bullets do not hurt him. Of course, he has regeneration, gets impaled by a cyborg, but you already know symbiotes have insane healing factors, right? He takes a hit from a group of clone carnages. Like, bruh, that's a lot. It made it seem like they was actually doing significant damage to him, but it was all just an act. Those guys are cannon fodder. They're puppets. I like the sound when they squish. Like, look at all this many. Heck is going on, get off of me. There's one time he even teamed up with Agent Venom. Awesome symbiotic crossovers. Respect it. Y'all trying to chop me up. I regenerate, bite your head. Y'all get slammed, working together with Venom. Agent Venom and him working together. Characters like Agent Venom describe him as 10 feet tall, but it's implied he can change his size because in this example, he's definitely much taller than 10 feet like, compared to these normal humans. Toxin by itself is pretty strong. Agent Venom even said it right here, even stronger than me. Like the time Agent Venom exploited his weakness to fire, but yet he still was able to survive. Chop. Slicing as such. He had to retrieve Eddie process, right? And he's also fought Venom before. I'm talking about Toxin by itself without Eddie Brock, aka they're better with host, but he was able to survive attacks from him because he's kind of liquidy, so, you know. Being a symbiotic type character and being one of those characters where he didn't stay like this long, he doesn't have many showings, but his showings are pretty concrete that he's a pretty decent gap, stronger than the average symbiotes, like even Carnage and even some of the best symbiotes out there. This is impressive because Spider-Man type characters can lift 60 plus tons with ease and even have shown to have occasions of lifting over hundreds of tons, even though these two pictures I'm showing you right here aren't necessarily hundreds of tons or nothing. But, you know, my Spider-Man videos can help you understand why these characters are so strong because of his fights with Spider-Man in the past. Whatever Venom can do, normally this version of him can do better. So you got to look at my other Venom videos from the past to really get an idea of how strong he is as well, like this. Not to mention that his battle feats imply writer intent for where they want him to be. Writer intent is everything. Toxin has feats of overpowering Agent Venom, casually overpowering Carnage, like casually. Without transforming, he can overpower characters like Black Cat, who are super soldier-ish. Venom and Carnage simultaneously. So he pretty much proved why he is on a certain level of power. It's not an exaggeration that he was the king of these symbiotes, basically. And it's not an exaggeration that he's the top dog of these symbiotes, even above Venom and Carnage. Remember what Spider-Man literally said out of his own mouth about normal Venom. This Toxin is above normal Venom. That was evident when he overpowered Agent Venom, right? He stayed here. Venom has all of my powers and more muscle, like I showed in the past. But for the most part, everybody, that's just about going to do it. He doesn't have the most feats. He's not the most popular version of Venom, you know what I mean? You know the standard black Venom is the most popular one, Eddie Brock, you know what I mean? But post your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Check out those playlists. Are you tired of this symbiote type stuff? Make sure you check out my Noel video, by the way. Hope I see you on the channel. And hopefully you hang out on the channel. I'll see you more often. I'll see you guys later, though.